As you're watching these messages, I very, very urgent that if you live in a continental state of Europe, then tomorrow is the D-Day. So make sure that you have your flight to, I'm going to post the itinerary of the devil Paul Biya that is landing tomorrow in Europe. And so, all if you live in a continental state of Europe, you might want to call in tomorrow and make sure that you are in Geneva. But I'm going to post the itinerary for you to read. And you must be there if you live in a continental state of Europe. So we have been waiting for that devil to land in Europe. So he is in Europe. Then we need to pick him up and he need to vomit all the people that he has been slaughtered. He need to vomit them. That means that Paul Biya is in Europe, will be in Europe tomorrow. And so therefore, make sure that wherever he is, we need to fish him out and bring him to wherever justice can prevail. So tomorrow is a die, which means if you live in the entire continental state of Europe, then you need to call in tomorrow because tomorrow is the D-Day. The person that we have been looking for, Paul Biya, will be in Europe tomorrow. So therefore, if you are in Europe, then you need to be either in Geneva, but I'm going to post the detail on my Facebook and make sure that you must be there if you live in the entire continental state of Europe, because that's the thing that we have been waiting. All those who have lost their life, all those who have been shot, and all those that have been killed, he must vomit them all tomorrow and anywhere he is in the continental state of Europe. So it is very, very urgent if you live in a continental state of Europe. This is very important. And for those in ground zero, this is an urgent announcement that I'm making for those in ground zero. There is an ample number of chicken that has been poisoned from China and that they are heading to the Southern Cameroon territory. And therefore, if you live in Southern Cameroon territory, don't eat any poultry from China. Any chicken that has been delivered that is coming from China, know that there is a poison. I don't have the list. It is infected. The chicken that has been delivered, that was transported from the port of Douala from China, has been infected. And so no citizen should eat any imported chicken. If you are citizen of Amazonia, take this very seriously. No chicken, no imported chicken should be eaten. This is very, very serious. If you are watching this, make sure you relate this message. Make sure you share it to the highest level. That any imported chicken that is coming or don't even eat any imported chicken. That is clear. Any imported chicken, do not eat. It's been infected. It's coming from China. Make sure this message get to the right source. And if you're watching this message, relate this to any Amazonia in ground zero. Those in Boya, those in Manfe, those in Nkambe, those in Womb, wherever you are, Bamenda, Ngokutunja, all the entire Southern Cameroon territory, do not eat any imported chicken, period. Do not eat any imported chicken. They have been all infected and are coming straight from China. I mean, you can imagine what is La Republic looking upon the people of Southern Cameroon as beasts. So for those who live in continental state of Europe, you have one way to Geneva. There are two places that he must be there, either in Switzerland or in Geneva. So either or, this devil that you're watching, his images, is coming to the neighborhood near you in Europe. So that is why I am giving you this attention, this announcement. I'm going to post his itinerary on my website. He must vomit all those who have been killed in southern Cameroon. He must vomit them out. Let's wait. I will be watching. I need to get whatever you are taking, because this is absolutely, we cannot take it. He looks us as what? What does Biya think like he is? And he carry his footstep and take it into the continent of Europe. Then he must return in packaging. That is why I'm letting the world know that Paul Biya must return in a different packaging, because this is not the time we're going to be playing. This is not enough. No. So if you are working, you need to call in tonight. If you are in Europe, if you are awake, it's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. here in the United States. It's 8 p.m. and it must be 2 a.m. in Europe. And if you are sleepy and you're watching this message, then you need to wake up and call your boss that you can't make it to work tomorrow, because this devil must return in different packages. That is what I am saying. We must return him in a different package, in a different format. Let him experience what people are going through. Can you imagine? He hired a dream liner. He hired a dream liner to transport him. That's one of the most expensive jets on this planet, a dream liner. And a third world country rented for his personal to transport him from Africa to Europe. The Dreamliner 818, 787, the Dreamliner. That's one of the most expensive plane on this planet. But he took it for his personally to transport him. It's $75,000 per hour. $75,000 per hour for the Dreamliner. And which means you multiply $75,000 per hour times 8 hours that he will be traveling from La Republic to Europe. Why the citizens are languishing in the forest? Why children don't basically have no food? Why there's no road network? Why people are suffering? And he is hiring $75,000 per hour to be spent on someone that is dead, in a dead person that is mentally dead, and they're spending that amount of money when citizens are being slaughtered by the military that he ordered, and he is stepping his foot onto the continent of Europe. I am calling on the Attorney General for the United States to order the Swiss government to pick up this guy and put him somewhere in jail before we decide his future. United States, I'm asking the Attorney General of this great nation, United States, call the Swiss government and that this man should be put somewhere, and let's decide his future. I am asking the United States government that they should ask the Swiss General, United States Attorney General, ask the Swiss to arrest the FIFA authorities, and they were picked up immediately. Today there is calm in FIFA. And I think United States Attorney General can do the same thing. And that is why, if you're watching, and I am asking the U.S. Attorney General, ask the Swiss government to pick this devil and place somewhere so that peace can reign in West Africa. He is coming. He is coming. The devil is on his way. The devil is on his way to Europe. So we must do something about it. The devil is on his way. That's a dead person that is living. A dead person living, and millions of people, young generation, are losing their lives because of this devil that is living. So United States Attorney General, the Swiss government, to pick up FIFA authority, and they were picked up and placed somewhere. I think FIFA this time has some kind of renovation. And therefore, I am asking the United States Attorney General to form the Swiss government to pick up this devil that is heading to Europe. I know United States. I believe the United States is capable to make such a decision. And I believe that the United States can do this and to let peace reign in West Africa. Can you imagine that children are being slaughtered indiscriminately? That order by this devil that basically worth nothing to the society. This devil worth nothing to the society. Children are basically in their advanced age that are looking forward to have a life. But this devil ordered them to be executed. And he is worth nothing. And he's spending 75,000 US dollars per hour traveling using a Dreamliner jet to transport him to Europe. While basically children doesn't even have food to eat. Women are delivering children in the forest, which he ordered them to be executed. And yet it's still going on. And yet it's still going on. So therefore, I am asking the U.S. Attorney General to ask the Swiss authority or the Belgian authority, wherever he is landing, and to be immediately picked up straight to jail and then for further investigation, for further ruling. I think the United States alone is capable to do this. I don't think the United States will sit and fold its arms and ignore that there is something going on in West Africa. This is the time the United States government need to show the world that they still command the leadership of this planet. Because we cannot sit and fold our arms and believe everything is well. Because we believe that we have Africa that is in West Africa. Are the United States going to be romancing with dictatorship because they want to keep relationship? I think this is the time the young generation will remember that the United States did something and that they will never forget. This is the moment that the United States has to show the world that they are still in the leadership. They are still in the command of this. I think this is the time the United States need to show that leadership in the world community. Because Africa look upon the behavior of the United States. How the United States going to act when these terrorists landed in Europe? Because for Europe, I don't think Europe is something that I can talk about it. But I believe the United States can make a difference. A significant difference that the world will take note of and take note of what the United States has done, especially the younger generation that are being erased by these terrorists that will be landing in Europe in less than 24 hours. But I believe that the United States, the government that I trust, the government that I believe can make a significant difference and pick this terrorist that is going to be landing in Europe. Because for the Europeans, they have been romancing with the system. And so therefore, I cannot even trust Europe because I trust my own government here in the United States because that's a government that believes in a fundamental human dignity. And that is why I'm asking the United States Attorney General, are you going to sit and let go? Because that's the time that Africa, we're going to look upon the United States to stand in the leadership and show the African that the United States is in partner and that they can never suffer because of a single individual, and the United States will sit and watch. And that is why I am calling on the United States government. Show us the leadership. Show us the leadership. Show us the leadership. Because these terrorists will, in less than 24 hours, will be in Europe. But however, United States has the ability, and United States don't need to ask somebody before making that critical decision. United States has done it before, and I believe the United States can still do it again. And that is why I am asking the United States government to do something about it. This terrorist, in less than 24 hours, will be in Europe. And he will be in Europe. But however, I believe in the United States government. I don't believe in it. French is a despot. Great Britain, I can't even count. Great Britain is just, I don't know. Great Britain is useless. Belgium, oh, the same. It's totally mess. But the United States government, I believe in the United States government because they can make a significant difference by changing the course. Because this is the moment that the United States can tell the African the young generation, that they stand with them and that their future can never be relinquished by a single individual. And this is the moment that West Africa will look upon the leadership of the United States. And I believe the United States can make a significant difference by calling on the Swiss government or the Belgian authority and ask this guy to stay somewhere and wait for further notice. Because this is the critical moment that the United States has shown, will show its leadership. Whether you're going to crumble and ignore the fact, then I will think United States will not. This is the moment, because United States must show the leadership of West African community, the AFRICOM, that United States is still in command. You can imagine that this terrorist individual is spending $76,000 an hour. $76,000 an hour. Then you multiply 8 hours from La Republique to Europe to carry on a Dreamliner to transport this that is almost dead. He's still not breathing very well. He's living probably on oxygen. And they're going to spend that amount to transport somebody that is living on oxygen to Europe. I think the United States can make a significant difference and change the course, because all the younger generation in West Africa is looking upon the United States to make a significant difference, because they're going to see whether United States will going to show leadership or United States going to stay and pay no close attention. But this is the government that I believe they can make significant difference. They have done it before, and they can still do it again. And that is why I call upon the U.S. State Department. I call upon the U.S. Department of Defense. I call on the U.S. Homeland Security. I call on the Attorney General of this wonderful nation. Make a significant difference and ask the Swiss government. A single phone call can change the course in West Africa. United States is aware of this, and they can do this. And that is why I am speaking this evening, before I go to bed, that before tomorrow, 6 p.m., he must be in somewhere in jailhouse and experience how to be in a jailhouse. Since he grew up, he hasn't. But this is the moment that the United States can make a significant difference, and let him test the jailhouse once in a lifetime. It's better than not to have one. So he needs to test the jailhouse. And that is why if you live in a continental of Europe, then you have one more way, and that you need to call in. It's 8:16, about 2-something p.m. in Europe. Then you need to call your boss and tell them you can't make it tomorrow because the devil is coming to your neighborhood. The devil is on his way to your neighborhood. I want to take a moment to thank all of you that if you live in a continental state of Europe, then you know that the devil is on his way to your neighborhood. And therefore, you can make a significant difference. And that everywhere you must make sure that you fish out where he's going to be landing. Make sure you fish it out where he's going to be landing. Because I post this picture here for all of you to see. And make sure that every hotel in the entire continental state of Europe must be secure. And wherever he is, then you know what to do. I have already have confidence for those living in the entire continental state of Europe. Because we have got enough. We cannot allow these terrorists traumatize people. And why? Because they are serving the interests of the European leadership. And forget that the young generation are in a desperate mode for a change. But this devil is serving the despot of Europe. He's serving the despot of Europe, rather than the interests of the citizens. And they're dying like numbers. Why this was less than a penny? But that is why I am asking tomorrow, call off and fish out where the devil is going to be landing. And make sure that he lives in a different package form and return back to La Republic. If you're watching these messages, imagine that this terrorist has been in power for 36 years? And what else does he want? What else? He has been in power for 36 years. And he can't retire. He's 86 years. And Europe is so adamantly love him because he gave them a free check that they don't worry. The Europeans just go into his account and dish whatever they have. And that is why they care less about what happened to the people in West Africa. But this is the moment that citizens must show their patriotism and fish this devil out that you cannot learn here in Europe. Because if we can learn in La Republic, then he shouldn't be able to learn in the free world. That is what I am telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Because he opened his free account for French government to be easily going in and dish whatever they have. And that is why they remain silent. They care less. Because he has his bank account deposited in Caisse Communautaire Française. And so French can go there and cash whatever they choose to. Why he sends military to destroy citizens and burn them alive? Like the old mother that is about to die and just realize that she is being burned and she can't get herself out of the burning fire in Bokutundia. Then you tell me why this terrorist should be landing in Europe. Because he has a free bank account that has located for the French Treasury, that they can go there and dish it out. Yes. He has a treasury account that is open that the US, that the French Treasury can just go there and dish whatever he wants. And that is why France must make sure that he stays in power. But however, he is coming to Europe, to the neighborhood near you. You're going to fish him out and know what to do. I need the results. Yes. If you live in a continental state of Europe, then you don't need to be in bed sleeping. If you live in a continental state of Europe, you shouldn't be in bed sleeping. If you can live 24 hours without sleeping and fish this devil out, then you have done the right thing. You have done the right thing. And that is why I'm also asking the U.S. Attorney General to be looking whether there is ample evidence that the United States can do something about it. Because the people of West Africa are looking upon the United States for leadership. Whether the United States will crumble with leadership or they just ignore it. But however, the government of the United States that I trusted and I believe they can, and they have done it, they need to fish this devil out. Yes. The United States need to fish this devil out. Yes. And make sure that he tests the house of jailhouse. He tests the jailhouse. Yes. If you forward this, if you are watching, make sure you forward it to those in Europe. Forward it. Send the message straight to Europe that if you are in continental Europe, you don't need to be in bed sleep. You need to be awake. Yes. If you live in a continental state of Europe, you don't need to be sleeping. You need to be waiting and fish this devil out and tell the world that enough is enough. That is somebody who has just few hours left for his life. But the younger generation, they can't even live their life because they are serving the interests of this. And forget that that nation belongs to the citizens. It doesn't belong to one single individual. Make sure you are awake and that you know where to fish this devil, because he can't hide in the entire continental state of Europe. Once you notice where he is, make sure you sound an alarm bell, because the entire people will be waiting for tomorrow. If you notice that this devil has landed, make sure you sound an alarm bell, because people will be listening for an alarm bell so that they can fish this devil out and tell him and place him where he belongs. We repackage him. He cannot return back with a dreamliner. He will return back in another method of returning. Yes, he cannot return back home in a dreamliner. Just can you imagine? At $75,000 per hour. Whereas citizens don't even have basic food to eat. Absolutely. They have nothing. They are suffering. Why the devil is spending $75 an hour, $75,000 an hour. What a Christ. After being in power for 36 years, being a prime minister since 1975, prime minister since 1970 something, 1970, but in 1975, this devil became prime minister in 1975. In 1982, he became president. And since ever then, he is the ultimate president of. But this is the time I am asking you that if you are watching this, you need to just come in for your job and be prepared to fish this devil out of the entire continental state of Europe, and then he needs to be repackaged in a different format. Wherever he is, you need to fish him out and let us know what to do. Yes. If you are watching and you live in the entire continental state of Europe, you don't need to be in bed sleeping, because I myself here, I will be watching. I'm not be sleeping. Yes. We need to repackage him and return. Yes, this is the moment. People get to be free. Young generation cannot have a quiet moment, because we have this devil that is serving the interests of France rather than the interests of the people. Do you think? And once more again, I want to inform you. Call your relative if you're watching this message. Call your relative in ground zero that the chicken that being imported from China is bad. That the imported chicken from China is poisonous, is terrifying. Don't eat any chicken that is coming from China. If you're watching these messages, you need to call ground zero and tell them the chicken from China is poisonous, and that no Southern Cameroon should eat any chicken from China. The entire ground zero, the chicken is poisonous. If you're watching these messages, yes, if you're watching these messages, La République collided with Xi Jinping. La République is collaborating with Xi Jinping. They send a poisonous chicken to poison Southern Cameroon. We will not fall in this trap. We will not. Our people must be free. We must be free indeed. We cannot fall in this trap. And if you have any chicken in your refrigerator, take it out and throw it. You better stay 2 days without food than to eating the Xi Jinping China chicken that has been delivered. That is the source. It's a poisonous that has been delivered. Thank you so much. And I want to tell you that I will be watching tomorrow to see the outcome. That you need to fish this devil out and find out where he is. And so he must be repackaged. He cannot return back in Dreamliner. Tell the world, we got to figure it out. What a nightmare. People cannot have a freedom. People cannot have a liberty. The world is in terrifying. Yes. Yes. If you live in the entire continental state of Europe and you are watching this message, I am asking you that it's 8:30 p.m. here in the United States, and should be 2:30 p.m. in Europe. And so you just need to call your employer and tell him that you can make it tomorrow because the devil is coming to your neighborhood near you. The devil is on his way. And we need to figure it out how to get him up, because we are capable to do so. We are capable. So I will be listening for the outcome of the report, because we need to fish this out. While we are asking United States government to step in and see what they can do, because they have done it before. But in the meantime, you all must be vigilant if you live in the entire continental state of Europe. If you live in continental state of Europe, and you need to figure it out. And once you figure it out, ring an alarm bell, because people are waiting tomorrow. Once you figure it out, ring an alarm bell, because that alarm bell will raise whoever, wherever they are, that indicate their location, that they need to pick him up and take him to a new destination, because we have to repackage him in a different format and ship back to land public. Fellow brothers and sisters, this is the moment that the world has turned a blind eye on the #1 terrorist in West Africa. But we need to tell the world that since they can't do it, we have the power to do it. Yes. Yes. You can't imagine. What is this? What? I mean, can you explain in a simple term why this guy is still in power? For Christ's sake. Can you explain to me in a single term why this individual is still in power when his mandate has already expired? His mandate already expired because he has the key of La République Treasury to drain it to Caisse Communautaire Française. And that is why the French authority make sure that they protect him, because they can go into the treasury of La République and drain it and send and fed the French people. But however, we are the brain of the new generation. We need to let the world know that we cannot in any circumstances be tolerant to this devil, because his own term expired long ago. His term has expired. His term has expired. And we need to have a different generation to decide the destiny, because he no longer knows the current world. His memory depressed, he's mentally challenged, he's totally aloof. Where am I psychiatrist to better describe who he is? So I want to take a moment to thank all of you. I want to take a moment to thank all of you, and that you need to be prepared that tomorrow you have one way. Tomorrow you have one way. Tomorrow, one way to figure out where this devil will be launching. And once you notice where he is, you need to just sound an alarm bell, because people will be waiting for your alarm bell. Because once the alarm bell is ring, then the people shall move in all angles and figure out where they can deal with it. If you can package him wherever he is, do that, so because we have to move, bypass this, and let's have a new conversation about how we should live. Because we cannot have this, because he has it. He has the key that he transports every money to the French treasury. Yes. Caisse Communautaire Française loves him. Caisse Communautaire Française loves him because they have a direct key to the treasury. They go there and collect at will. And that is why France cares less about it. But this is a generation that needs to change the course of that thing. That France cannot come there and drain whatever they think they fit. Because France is the architect that keep this devil at the throne. France is the architect that keep this devil at the throne. But we need to cut the link. But unfortunately, he has carried his leg and he's marching. He's marching. He's marching.